Coming up on this special edition of Studio 5. Brunes Charles penned those legendary lyrics, and they've earned him a seat at this year's Grammy Awards. But first, he sits down with us.
I literally could cry, just sitting back thinking of how far God has brought me.
Sharing the story behind the song.
We would come in the rooms and we'd just be like, hey, what are you going through today? And that would birth a song, you know, and just like church.
Reflecting on his life and his career.
When I moved to LA, finally after college, I didn't want to pursue music. I wanted to pursue television, which is I started working as an associate producer for the Dr. Phil show.
And revealing lessons learned from his friend and fellow recording artist, Major.
He is the first person that ever gave me a real chance, to be honest.
That and more are ahead in this one-on-one with Brunes Charles. Brunes Charles is no stranger to Grammy nominations. The producer, songwriter, and instrumentalist has earned at least a half dozen. The latest nomination is for songwriting. The song is Church, and the singers bringing those lyrics to life are Tasha Cobbs Leonard and John Legend.
Here we are. Here we are. You and I.
Sitting here on the heels of a Grammy nomination.
Who would have known? I don't consider myself a writer, but Naomi Raine, I think she's probably the most influential person as it pertains to believing in my craft as a writer, because she would always call me like, hey, like, let's write, or I'm doing a writing camp, I want Brunes here. And in my head, I'm like, I'm not a writer. Like, stop asking for me. And it got to a point where I was very insecure that I would look for ways out. I would make excuses because I just didn't want to be in. It sucks when you're in a room and you're surrounded by people who do this. You know what I mean? Like, they just do this, and here you are, they're coming up with ideas and you're silent and you're like, if I say this, are they gonna think that I'm dumb? I had the music side, the producing side, but in terms of like writing a song, I never saw myself as writing a song. And so one day I just decided to own it. I was like, hey, I may not be able to write like you guys, but I can paint a story and I can give different concepts. And I think by doing it more, I eventually got better. And now I'm nominated for the first time ever as a writer, writing a song that Tasha Cobbs and John Legend is on.
You can be my company, here's my heart, take the lead, teach me how to have church on a Monday.
I literally could cry, just sitting back thinking of how far God has brought me. And I listen to John Legend all the time on the radio, and I'd play his songs on the piano. And I'm talking to you and I'm like, I wrote a song that he is singing. Even Tasha, like, even to be in the room with her and getting to work with her and all of these incredible people, Travis, I can go down the line, Israel Houghton, Jonathan McReynolds, Jalen Carr, all of those people, I cannot believe how far God has brought me. And while I'm talking to you, I'm also realizing that, like, man, I've actually got to do way more than I could ever imagine. I knew what I wanted, but God knew what I needed. And so I'm so grateful that I unpacked my musical instrument from that corner.
You can sample more of the sounds of church wherever you purchase, download, or stream your music. Still ahead, we move from real life to song lyrics. Brunes shares the journey to this special piece of music. Welcome back to our one-on-one conversation with Brunes Charles. Come along as he dives deeper into the life lessons he learned writing church. Here's the secret. He had to learn to let God be God. I love what you posted when you got word of the Grammy. You said, yesterday I found out I'm nominated for a Grammy as a songwriter. I never saw myself as that, but God did. Every insecurity, every moment of doubt, he still covered me. I used to find excuses not to show up because I didn't feel qualified. But grace has a way of qualifying you for what you thought was beyond you.
Wow.
To whoever needs it, walk in the room and let God be God.
Yes, sir.
Is that a hard lesson for you to learn?
Ooh, it was a hard lesson for me to learn because I would say not up until a couple of years ago, I would walk in the room that God would place me in and try to do it myself and try to figure it out myself. And I think that's where those insecurities came from, because I could only go so far and I only know so much. And so I would leave those rooms, honestly, even if the song was great, I would feel like I literally did not contribute other than sit in the room and probably give a word or two, and I would feel unfulfilled, you know? And so I struggled. And so I started to decline writing camps and I started to not go anymore. And the more I surrendered to God, it gave me a better picture of why am I in these rooms? And what's the assignment in these rooms when I walk in? Is it to come up with the most words, or is it to just be who I'm supposed to be and let God just shine through me in that? And once I figured that part out, everything else became easier. Like, we would come in the rooms and we would just be like, hey, what are you going through today? And that would birth a song, you know? And just like church, we walked into the room and I was just like, man, how's everybody feeling? Like, what are you going through? And what are you going through? Anthony, Jonas, and Anatolia was also in the room. I'm like, let's just have a conversation. And from that conversation, the idea of church was birthed. Yeah.
Any lines stand out for you?
Teach us how to have church on a Monday. Because church is easy on Sunday.
Yeah.
It is. And the hardest day is Monday, when everything goes back. You got to worry about work, life, kids, environment, the world. I think church has a way of, it's almost an escape from reality. For however long you're in church, some 3 hours, some 2 hours, some 1 hour, but that space feels good to just be around a community of people who believe in the same God, who's worshiping, who's praying. It's just safe. Once you leave those four walls, it's a different story, and you got responsibilities and other things that you have to answer to. And so we were asking for the same grace that we find and same peace that we find on Sunday. Like, how do we find that on Monday? Church is really good on Sunday, but what about Monday? What about Tuesday? What about Wednesday, when you got to go through the week? And that's the line for me. Teach us how to have church on the hardest day, not when it's easy.
And God is just you and me now. You tell me what to do now. Teach me how to have church on a Monday.
The 2026 Grammy Awards ceremony is February 1st. Still ahead, we're looking back at Brunes before the world knew his name. Welcome back to our one-on-one. Brunes Charles has an impressive music catalog as a producer, musician, and composer. I pulled a list of your music credits to try and just throw some songs at you to see what you recall about them.
Okay.
I think most have producer credit. Firm Foundation?
Oh yeah, we did that on the Mav Way record. That was a fun one. That was a fun one.
In the Room.
Oh, In the Room. Listen, okay, what a lot of people don't know is this, okay? In the room, I was a music director for a tour called It's Time Tour. It was an all-women's tour with Naomi, Tasha, Taya from Hillsong, Natalie Grant from the church that she attends, Belonging Co. And Tamala Mann, all of them were in there. So we start the show off with one of Naomi's songs, we go to someone else's song, and then there's kind of like an opener. And in that opener it became a flow. And Tasha started singing, "He's in the room." Just that. He's in the room. He's in the room, right? So we're now getting ready. Months later, we're getting ready for Mav recording. And the day before, like we're rehearsing with the band, JJ walks in the room. He's like, "Hey, I think we have a new song. It's called In the Room." I'm not even thinking about what Tasha did. Naomi sends me a voice note recording of her just playing guitar and singing, "I'm not forsaken, never alone. Oh, he's in the room." I'm like, one, very crazy that she can write that quick. I think it was her and Pastor Morris. And then another crazy thing is we're literally going to throw this song in a day before the recording. That's what I remember of that song. I was, oh man, the pressure. But it
no mistake.
No
It was supposed to be.
It was supposed to be. Yeah.
What a God.
Yo. Listen, for anyone who watches this or listens to this, I think anything you want to do in life, it starts by asking a question and being unafraid. What a God is a lot of people will say, "Oh man, like we noticed that SCU, like, cause we recorded it at SCU, but technically it is a one house song." So I reached out to write with SCU, cause I am a part of One House, and they were like, "Oh yeah, let's do it." We walk in the room and the question is, "Hey, what's everyone going through? How's everyone doing?" And we start sharing ideas, and Roosevelt comes up with, "If the highest place I reach is at your feet." We're like, "Oh, let's write down that idea. So I help out with the second verse, which talks about, "They say it's over for a sinner, but you said, no, it's not. No, it's not." Right? So we got there, we wrote the bridge, we wrote the verses, we didn't have a hook to the song. But I was so in love with just what God can do, and that the lowest place of God is like literally the highest. Like it's holy, even his feet is holy, right? And I'm like, God, who, like the first verse is like, "Who thought you'd see me in the crowd, the woman with the issue of blood?" I'm like, man, God is just so amazing, y'all. Like what a God. What a God that he would just like stoop down to the lowest level of us. What a God, what a God, what a God. And Chelsea's like, "You know what? Maybe that's the hook." What a God, what a God. We're like, that's it. That's the song right there. It. Yeah, I'll never ever forget that song. Yeah.
Beautiful. Now we know more about the music. We explore the childhood that gave birth to Brunes Charles' music career. I know you're a preacher's kid.
Yep.
Haitian roots. Live in LA now.
Yes, sir.
But where were you living prior to LA?
Naples, Florida. A town called Naples, Florida, with my parents, which they originated from Haiti. With I have 3 sisters and then 2 other brothers. I'm second to youngest, so the favorite. Sorry to say that, But my sisters and my mom and dad, they were already living in an old town called Immokalee. But by the time I was born, they had moved from Immokalee, Florida to Naples, Florida. And that's where I was born.
Nice. Is the whole family musical?
They used to be. That's the crazy. Yeah. Okay. And then they grew out of it. So my dad, pastor, he played guitar, and my sisters used to sing, and my dad is one of 7. And the brother, he's the oldest, the brother under him started a group that all of my sisters were in, his kids were in. I was in there, but I played a fake guitar.
How old were you?
I think I started playing a fake guitar at the age of like 5. It was fake. You know the buttons that you can push? You could just buy it at the dollar store, and I'd be on stage singing with them and everything. My younger brothers would play the drums. And then as, you know, time moved on, they kind of stopped doing that, but my dad kept playing guitar. And he would bring me into his room, I would say on the weekends, at least at like 9 o'clock at night till midnight. Here's the crazy thing. I used to hate it. Yeah, because all of my brothers, they would be in the garage or in their room playing video games. And then here I was, like, my dad's teaching me guitar. And of course, I didn't understand why. I had no idea why. I was just like, I'm a kid. I want to go play video games with my brothers. And it would take mom at like midnight saying, honey, can you please just let him go to sleep? Like, it's time to go. Yeah. And so that was my training growing up with my father in the household. And I was the only one out of my brothers to get called into the room to just practice guitar.
Did he ever share why?
He never shared why. I literally had no idea. And I think growing up when I moved to LA, finally after college, I didn't want to pursue music. I wanted to pursue television, which is, I started working as an associate producer for the Dr. Phil show. So I tried to stay away from music for the longest. And I think, I can't even say I was burnt out because I loved it, but I was like, maybe this is something I could just do on the side and then just do television because I love television so much.
Because you in college studied communications as a major.
Yes, sir.
And your minor was music?
Yep, minor was music. To me, music was, it was like a second language to me because I grew up playing it. Although I'm Haitian, so I grew up playing Haitian music. Then when I went to college in South Carolina, I then started to learn about gospel music. So like Kirk and all of those guys. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this? It made me want to take a deeper dive into music. But television for me, nothing compared to that. So I was like, I want to do that. And I could do music as a minor because I already do it. So all the ear training things, like it came easy for me.
What was the dream communications job?
Okay, so check this out. I'm glad you asked. You know, in college, I was watching Ellen DeGeneres. And I'm a giver. Like, I love giving. And, you know, her show would be about helping people. She's funny. She's, you know, hilarious. And then you have, you know, Dr. Phil, who's more serious. I was like, I'm on the Ellen DeGeneres side, you know? I was like, oh, I could see myself as a host one day. And I could see myself behind the camera too, just in production, coming up with the shows, writing, whatever that looks like. I just love being creative. And so that was the dream for me. I was like, television all the way, baby. And then music, whenever I get the call, like I'll go out and travel, easy peasy, you know, and little did I know, here we are sitting.
God had other plans.
God had major plans.
Never forget all the good things you've done, and let all that I am praise you, God.
Brunes is part of One House, the music group born at the California church where Tori Roberts and Sarah Jakes Roberts once served as pastors. One House's latest music project is titled Up to Something. We continue our one-on-one with Brunes Charles. He's sharing wisdom from his parents. What do you think your dad, who was pushing you to learn guitar, what do you think he's saying, or has he shared what he's thinking now as he watches?
I think it's the same thing for anyone who's like Caribbean or African.
Nigerian.
Yeah, sure. Nigerian. Okay. All right. So here's the crazy thing. My parents didn't grow up in the US, so they don't know what, now they do. but they didn't understand, oh, what is the Dr. Phil show? What is different productions? What does that mean? They were concerned about one thing. What are you doing and how are you making money? And when are you going to get property? That's their thing. They got to see it in order for it to be like believable and for them to see it as success, you know, but that's the way that they were raised and they don't understand. I'm the only one in my family that took the path of entertainment. So everyone else is either in education or medical. So their path it's laid out.
And understood.
Okay. Ours is like, hey man, you may be up one day and you may be down the other.
Yes.
You may be good for the next 2 years and not, you know, it's so inconsistent. But we have a consistent God, and if you just follow him, like he's gonna make everything make sense. And I'm so grateful for him. For the longest time, actually, there was a period where I didn't necessarily talk to my parents about my career and what I was doing, just because I'm like, okay, well, I'm not at the Dr. Phil show anymore. Then they're gonna be like, well, why are you in LA? What are you doing? And so then there's this pressure, oh my gosh, of like, I know my parents mean well and they just want me to be successful. And I'm like, but I just want them to understand and just believe in me. And instead of calling me to say, what are you doing? When is it gonna work out? Why don't you guys call me and just be like, son, we believe in you. Like whatever it is, we believe in you. And I had that conversation with my mom. I probably could have said it a little bit better.
Okay.
because it offended her, you know, because for her, she's like, I'm not coming from that place. And I know in her mind, she didn't say this. She's like, if you only knew the prayers that we were praying for you, I don't think those words would ever come from your mouth. And she's right. You know what I mean? She's absolutely right. But I think because I was feeling a lot of pressure, I'm like, man, I'm seeing all of these other parents like cheer on their kids. And of course, like different races and everything like that. I'm like, I feel like that would push me to go further, but they love me in a different way. They love me in a totally different way. And so it's been great to watch my father go from that to now showing everybody pictures of me and me being on television and these award shows and showing the church and everything. And he's like, man, I just left the store and they were talking about you. And, you know, I'm just calling you to let you know how proud I am of you. And he had a conversation not too long ago with me and my brothers just about like why he was tough on us. And he really wanted us to succeed and that he really believed in us. And so at the end of the day, my parents are the greatest in the world, you know, and things that I didn't understand back then, their approach, I understand now.
Oh, yes, our God, who are we to deny weather?
We've come to the end of our one-on-one special. Before we go, we want to give the final word to Brunes, who's sharing lessons learned from friend and recording artist Major. I think the first time that I saw you or became aware of you was in Atlanta. You were playing guitar for Major at one of his events, but he mentioned you by name, and I thought, that's curious. Someone who is behind the scenes, who could remain nameless. He thought, I want you to know who this is.
Major is the first person that ever gave me a real chance, to be honest. I think before Major, I was playing for John B, but I was just playing for John B. Major was the first artist that made me realize that, hey, we're on the same platform and you are also a star. And he never stopped believing in me. Every rehearsal was serious, whether it's just me and him, no cameras, no one watching. He was like, hey, you know, there are people watching you right now. You know, you gotta, and so he taught me discipline. I had to audition to play for Major, you know what I mean? Yeah, and one of the shows he almost fired me because I was playing the wrong lines. But he is one of the greatest humans to ever live on this planet. And I can say this about him. He genuinely wants everyone to win, no matter what. Whether he wins an award or not, if you're up for it, he's cheering you on. And so I can honestly say I would not be where I am today, firstly without God, but definitely Major, who played a huge part in my success.
Because you're amazing, just the way you are.
That is a great final word for this edition of Studio 5. Until next time, make time to uplift someone around you, and then please come on back and see where Studio 5 takes you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.